Hey, welcome in. Well, this one's going to make you angry. Okay, this is something that's actually going to cause real harm. This is going to cause real harm to society. Anywhere this happens, this is in Canada, which doesn't surprise me at all. But this article here, this shows you something, the madness of our culture now. This is just totally unjust, I think irrational, totally biased. And again, this is no good will come of this for any society that adopts this sort of these sorts of standards. Nothing good is going to come to them. Here's the headline: Man ordered to pay spousal support even though he wasn't married, had no house or children. Yes, that's right. That's right. Apparently they want to make it so that there's just no way out. If you want to have a relationship, if you're a man and you want to have a relationship with a woman, there's just no out. You're going to end up paying. So anyway, let's take a look at this. A wealthy Toronto businessman is on the hook to pay his ex-girlfriend more than $50,000 a month. $50,000 a month. That's $600,000 a year. For the next 10 years after a court determined they were longtime spouses despite never being married and never living together. I know. Did I read this right? $50,000 a month for 10 years despite never being married, never living together. And also, they don't have children together either. So why is she getting this? This doesn't make any sense, right? Well, if you think that, you've never been to Canada. Anyway, let's continue. Michael Latner, a reported multi-millionaire, was in a relationship with List Klimans for 14 years. So he had a girlfriend for 14 years. See, he was the divorced father of 3, while she was a separated mother of 2 when they began their relationship. Throughout their 14-year relationship, the couple lived in separate homes. Okay, so they lived in separate homes, but would regularly stay over at each other's houses. That's not very uncommon, is it, for people in a relationship? You would think that there's not too much risk in that, right? They also went on vacations together, and Latner showered Klimans with expensive gifts, including a 7.5 carat diamond ring and other jewelry. So he took her on vacation, and he bought her expensive gifts. So it turns out now that if you take somebody on vacation with you and buy them expensive gifts, that's a contract now, it turns out. Now that's a contract. You're not just buying them that gift, you're buying them all the future gifts they're going to demand in court. All right, he also gave her thousands of dollars each month, a credit card, and paid off her mortgage, the Post reported. So helping, that's a contract too. That's a contract. So you're not just helping now, you're helping forever. If that's what she wants, apparently. So no good deed goes unpunished, right? Apparently. She reportedly quit her job and would sleep at Latner's house often. Does this all equal up to $50,000 a month for 10 years? I'm really not sure. It says the two had their own bank accounts and never bought property together, nor did they have any children together. And get this here. Get this. He proposed to her several times and she accepted, but she actually didn't go through with it because he wanted to sign a prenup, a marriage contract. She refused. So those are some red flags right there. He probably should have gotten out of it back then. Maybe you'd only be paying her $40,000 a month. I mean, come on. This is madness. And what this is this is the courts infantilizing women, okay? You know, brave, powerful, and stunning when it suits them. And then helpless victims, unable to function as adults when it suits them. This is insane. Where are the feminists here? Where are the feminists? They should be against this. She's not a child. She's an adult who can take care of herself. She's made her own choices. She has to be responsible for her own choices. That's what we expect of adults, or at least we used to. You know, I don't care if she quit her job. She's an adult. We're getting into a weird place when we don't expect adults to act like adults because of their gender. And, you know, he wanted her to sign a prenup, a marriage contract. Well, it turns out it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's on the hook anyway. You know, you were in a relationship with her. She stayed over at your house sometimes. You went on vacation with her. You bought her gifts. How is she supposed to survive now after all that? I mean, you can't expect her to sell all those expensive gifts you gave her or to have saved up any of the money that you gave her. That's what an adult would do. You can't expect that of her. Anyway, I told you, this is maddening, right? This is maddening. Anyway, so it says here, when the relationship ended in May 2015, she went to court to be recognized as Latner's spouse and demand he pay her spousal support. Let's see. Latner, according to the Post, argued that Klimans had been his, quote, travel companion and girlfriend, nothing more. Well, she wasn't. They didn't live together. They didn't have kids. They weren't married. That's exactly what they were. He argued they were never spouses, and he didn't owe her any support. I mean, what is this, just an attempt to just try and drive a wedge between men and women? To make men terrified of going out for dinner with a woman? I mean, everything that's happening as the culture has just been taking this sharp turn to the left. Seems to be bad for men. Seems to be bad for people who see themselves as individuals. And, this is going to be bad for women as well, because it takes two to tango. And if you can't find a dance partner, you're on your own. Tough luck. I mean, maybe in the future they'll change it so you can get spousal support if you just live next to somebody, your neighbor. You can never talk to them, but, you can't expect you to get a job. I mean, come on. Let's see. After an 8-day trial, Superior Court Justice Sharon Shore, so it's a woman judge, big surprise, ruled that Latner and Klimans were, in fact, longtime spouses and that Latner should pay Klimans $53,000. $53,000 a month indefinitely for being his girlfriend. Shore ruled out that even though the couple maintained separate homes, they spent part of the summer together at Latner's cottage and stayed together in Florida for winter vacations. Really, that's it. That's the standard now. This was enough to determine cohabitation, even though it's obviously not. And originally, it was ruled indefinitely, so forever. Okay, now it was changed. And that was changed to 10 years, which is still insane. And just look at this. Does this make any sense to you? Under Ontario law, an unmarried couple are considered common law spouses if they have cohabited, lived together in a conjugal relationship continuously for at least 3 years. But that doesn't necessarily mean living in the same home, the court found. So, living together in a conjugal relationship, that sounds like living together, right? Apparently, but you don't actually have to be living together now. That's how insane this is, okay? Again, this all feels like, so much of the world today just feels like doublethink. It's not true when the party doesn't want it to be true, but it is true when the party wants it to be true. This all just has a very definite kind of Ingsoc 1984 vibe to it to me. Anyway, it says here he appealed, but it was upheld with one change. He would only have to pay for a decade. $53,000 a month. Just tell me if this makes any sense to you. This is what the appeals court ruled. Quote, lack of a shared residence is not determinative of the issue of cohabitation. So not living together is not determinative on the issue of cohabitation. This makes literally no sense. That sentence is gibberish. It's completely irrational. Just going to interrupt for 1 second to say, if you like this content, subscribe so you can see more. Thanks a lot. And I guess they think that they can justify it with this here. Quote, there are many cases in which courts have found cohabitation where the parties stayed together only intermittently. Okay, but they're wrong, right? They're wrong. You're not living together if you're not living together. If you're not living together in the same house, you're not living together. I'm sorry. And what are the consequences of all this? The message is clear. It's not enough to not marry, to not cohabitate, to not have children. If you want to secure your financial freedom and your financial future, you have to abstain from women entirely. You have to just completely stay away from them. I mean, the damage that a ruling like this causes to society and individuals is unmeasurable. I mean, the message here is clear. It's clear. It's not enough to not be married, to not live together, and to not have children. It turns out any contact can put you on the hook. I don't see anything in here where the courts are saying You got enough already. How much was that ring that he bought you? Sell it. Go and get a job. How about that? None of that in here. This is treating her as if she's a child. It's infantilizing. What? Because she has a right to live on $600,000 a year? Why? Because she's used to it? I'm sorry, that is not a right. It is not a right to be really wealthy. And so what to do about this? This is insanity. What to do? I think there's only one course of action. I think men have to start doing this to their girlfriends, which is going to start happening. I think it will start happening as men are passed over for promotions and opportunities for the sake of filling quotas. It's bound to happen. You're going to have a lot more women making more money than men. Will this judge, would she come to the same conclusion? Were the roles reversed? I wouldn't count on it. But, the trouble that it would cause of all these men taking all these women to court for spousal support, even though they never lived together, they're not married, and they don't have any children together, that might cause enough trouble that women will then cry out for this sort of thing to be changed, because all of a sudden it will seem very unfair to them. Very unfair indeed. I mean, those men are adults, aren't they? They can work, right? They can work. They can sell all the thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gifts they got. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, and share. There's Radio Baloney, the podcast. It's on basically every platform. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.